please welcome Jamf's good friend, CIO of IBM, Fletcher Previn.
Thank you, Dean. Good morning. Very happy to be here. I love coming to this event and the sense of community in this room and everybody committing to make each other successful. It's one of my favorite events to go to. So, IBM is a large organization. We have about 350,000 full-time regular employees and about 35,000 contractors. So there's only one IT department in IBM. From an IT perspective, we're supporting about 385,000 people doing business in over 170 countries, a fair number of whom are traveling, remote, supporting customers, don't come into a traditional office. The IT organization that I'm responsible for is about 12,000 people, about a $2.6 billion budget. The application portfolio is about 4,500 applications. IBM's 108 years old. A lot of applications supporting a variety of businesses. 1,300 offices around the globe, 500 plus data centers. So it's a large worldwide organization. We deploy about 135,000 new laptops per year. Over 500,000 laptops currently under management. And if you're curious, we're about 60% Windows today, 30% Mac OS, and 10% Linux. Now, IBM no longer publicly reports where in the world our people are located, but no one's ever said I can't share with you where the laptops are located, so here you go. Our purpose in the IT department in IBM is to create a productive environment for our people. Our strategy to do that is to engineer from the user experience in instead of IT out, to hire people that are passionate about what they do for a living, commit to modern ways of working, and secure the enterprise. We spend a lot of time thinking about IT as a driver of culture change. And that really led us to articulate our thinking into a philosophy that says the state of IT is a daily reflection of what the company thinks and feels about its people. And that if we really believe that to be true, then how well all of us are doing our jobs is not trivial. It's actually core to a strategy of creating a high-performance workforce where people are empowered to achieve their maximum potential and ultimately deliver better outcomes to our users and customers. And with that in mind, that really prompted us to rethink how we were delivering IT to our people and deliver a choice program. And in 2015, we formally launched a Mac at IBM program and allowed employees to choose their preferred platform. Today, we have over 290,000 Apple devices inside of IBM under management. And as Dean said, the first time I stood up here, I shared with you the work that the very talented team of people we had assembled were able to do to get this program launched at scale very quickly and go from 0 to 30,000. The next time I was here, I shared with you the financials around how we got the business case to work for the Mac to be cost neutral or better, in our case better. But that's not why we did it. It was not a cost takeout program. It was because we believed it would do all these wonderful things for us as a business. And one of the great things about having hundreds of thousands of people using devices for years is that we have been able to collect a lot of real data and say, look back and say, was what we intuitively believed going to happen, does that bear out in the actual metrics that we see? And so I'm very excited to be able to share with you today what is the result of giving these devices to people, managing them in a way where we can commit to security, deliver an automated experience through Jamf, and let's take a look at the outcomes. Just really quick, Net Promoter Score, for those of you who don't know, it's a 200-point scale between -100 and +100. You ask people, would you recommend this? And those who say yes are positives. Those who say no are detractors. Take the positives, subtract the detractors, and you get a Net Promoter Score or an NPS score. Anything above 41 is considered best in class. It's a difficult score, difficult measurement by design, and that's really the one measurement we probably standardized on the most inside of IBM. So what do our users tell us about the platforms they use? Windows 10 program at IBM has a Net Promoter Score of 15. Our Mac program has a Net Promoter Score of 47.5. That is a 35.5-point difference, which on those of you familiar with Net Promoter Score is a very material difference. Let's talk about number one thing I can do inside of IBM to help keep the company safe is take advantage of software improvements by way of updates and maintain software currency. In the first week of macOS Catalina coming out, 22% of our users upgraded with no push from IT. By the way, typically we would see over 90% of our Mac population getting to the current platform within 2 months of something being released. We'll be ahead of that schedule for this current release as well. Related to software updates, how many times a year do we need to go out and make sure that everybody is patched and up to date? In our Windows 10 estate, that happened 95 times in the last 12 months. In our Mac population, that happened 12 times. So there's roughly 8 times the number of updates required for us to deploy in the Windows space. User experience. 14.4% of our Windows users report having difficulty migrating to a new device. 2.6% of our Mac users report having difficulty. Let's talk about the engineering overhead required for us to support these platforms as an IT department. We require about 1 engineer per every 10,000 Windows 10 devices. That same engineer can support about 30,000 Macs. When we can't fix a problem on the phone and we have to send somebody out to a desk, it's a much more expensive operation for us. Windows users are 5 times more likely to need on-site support. Let's take a look at employee performance. Salespeople inside of IBM, high-value sales deals are 16% larger for Mac OS users compared to Windows users. Our annual performance assessment has 4 dimensions that we measure people on, one of which is innovation and skill. There are 22% more Mac OS users who achieve the highest rating in their annual performance assessment in this dimension compared to PC users. We spend a lot of time trying to create an environment where we can attract and retain top talent. It's a talent war out there in the tech space. Mac OS users at IBM are 17% less likely to leave the company. So when I said that our mission is to create a productive environment for people, continually improving the work experience, let's look at what has the impact of this program been. The Net Promoter Score is higher for the Mac. It's easier to keep the Mac up to date. Migrating to a new device is less difficult. It's less overhead to manage these devices at scale. They require less help desk support. Salespeople have higher value sales deals. Employees perform better, and they're less likely to leave. Now, I don't know if better employees want Macs or giving Macs to employees makes them better. You got to be careful about cause and effect, but there sure is a lot of corroborating evidence that says you want to have a choice program. And with that, thank you very much.